as I said before, this is the Leatherman Thruster, and I'm almost positive you've never considered purchasing it. It comes in this really funny little plastic packaging, but it's hiding something that I think people hadn't really thought of. For one thing, I found a I found no information on this tool, really. When I went to go look it up, the only thing I could see was what Leatherman had already posted about this tool on their website and all the videos that they uploaded to YouTube. But I had some basic questions that couldn't simply be answered, and I couldn't find it in any videos that I saw. No one mentioned anything. So I decided I'd do it myself. So I did. So this is made of a polycarbonate plastic, but all of this is actually made of steel. And I think the other thing that I want to mention is this piece, which is not completely obvious, is also made of steel. This is not plastic or rubber. It's actually a steel ring. Now, let's pop this thing out and let's show you why I think you might want to consider it. First of all, it has 2 of the extra long Leatherman bits. The Leatherman bit kit for the mutt is $11 right now. Okay, $11. And this comes with the same bits, or close to the same bits, and the most important one being this Phillips flathead, and it's only $7.50. So you're basically getting it for less, and you're getting this other thing entirely for included. Now, okay, so what? I mean, am I ever going to use this? Well, I think you might. I think you might use it, and here's why. There's something that I saw when they were showing this tool on Leatherman's website that I found particularly interesting. When you take out a bit, like so, you have this piece of metal, okay? And this lets you, which you see it springs open, holding this in place. But if you take this and slide it through the middle like so, now you can basically have an inline screwdriver, a Leatherman screwdriver that actually can hold a Leatherman bit, and you can torque on without causing it to be damaged. Because this is metal and not plastic, it'll actually hold and use a Leatherman bit. Now, the one thing is it's clear there's a little bit of space in there, so it's not going to necessarily stop the bit. So the shorter bits may not get, retained as easily, but it seems like it's basically pinched between these other bits that are already inside. So theoretically, if you had this one inside and you put another smaller bit, it could wedge itself between the two, preventing it from going further in and still being held. So this becomes a Leatherman screwdriver, as well as for those bits. And you still have a bottle opener, and this other feature, which is in a lot of their one-piece multi-tools. And this allows them to use the Leatherman bits at 90 degrees, giving you maximum amount of torque. So especially with the bit extender, this is particularly useful, giving you a full amount of torque. But because of this particularly, I thought it was quite interesting, and the fact that I can get these awesome bits for even less expensive than I could the mutt kit. So what a cool little free addition I get. Plus, this is thin enough, let me put it back together here, by itself, if you take the plastic off, to fit in most kits or a pocket. There's no sharp edges that you have to worry about, and everything holds in there quite tightly. So you have your bottle opener, you have a screwdriver, right, already in one. So hey, that's kind of cool, right? And I was thinking about it, this is designed for scraping wax off a surfboard, but I can imagine this would probably make it a pretty good fish scaler too, right? Yeah, for sure. Especially if you turn it around and face this against the scales, you're going to get those scales off really easily. And this is easy to clean, doesn't rust. So yet another cool function that you can get, and this clicks in like so. So if you wanted, you could put the whole thing in your pocket, whatever. But consider it something that maybe you never thought of. And the reason I would get it is if you wanted something that was nice and flat, that used Leatherman bits and worked like a screwdriver, that gives you additional option, maybe in addition to a normal multi-tool, but also works by itself. So kind of a cool little tool. something you might want to consider, even if you're not a surfer, like for some of the reasons I've stated. But mostly, I think you're going to want it because that extra long bit is incredibly, incredibly useful. And at the price point, it's going to be hard to beat. So I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe, please. It really does help. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas season. P.S. I wanted to try this because why not show it? And no one else is going to do it, I'm sure. But like I thought, it wedges itself between the two bits and will not go any further once the metals are touching. And we have an inline Leatherman screwdriver, even with the smallest bits. Now let's go up to the biggest bits just to prove that it's possible. So anything in between should work if these two work. So we want that one to wedge itself in there. There we go. There we go. See? Everything works. Biggest bit and smallest bit still work. Oh. Spoke too soon. Hold on, wait. Oh, get in there. There we go. So it's not perfect, but heck, it's certainly better than what you might expect. And once it's set in properly, it will absolutely work like a screwdriver. Pretty darn cool. And that's with, of course, the biggest of the bits. So if it'll work there and it'll work with the smallest one, it should be fine. There you go. Leatherman Thruster, the Leatherman screwdriver.